Miraculous manifestation revealed. Divine transformation awaits when effort ceases after 40 days, in the heart of a quaint English village cloaked in cobbled streets and ancient whispers, a miracle stirred beneath the surface of despair. Mary, a devoted churchgoer, poured her soul into the flickering flames of candles as she prayed fervently for her only son, Thomas, whose health slipped away like sand through fingers. Each evening, she knelt at the altar, the walls heavy with prayers from centuries past, echoing through the church that seemed more alive with faith than ever before. It was a sanctuary where hope and longing intertwined, a haunted space filled with the murmurings of the faithful, each harmony lifting to the heavens in collective desperation. Under the weight of relentless medical reports, Mary felt her heart harden, besieged by skepticism that haunted her every prayer. Doctors, with their grave faces and somber tones, brushed aside her ardent pleas as mere fantasy, an unseen chasm growing between her unwavering spirit and the cold reality of their charts. Yet, she found strength among her fellow villagers, who ignited prayer meetings in the church, invoking St. Jude in unison, that patron of lost causes. As the candles melted into pools of divine light, each flicker seemed to drum an ember of faith in the hearts of everyone gathered. During a sacred 40-day prayer challenge, the air thickened, pregnant with possibility. The congregation surrounded Mary with their gentle voices, unified in purpose. "Light this candle for Thomas," an elderly vicar urged, eyes glimmering with fervor. "Let St. Jude intercede for our dear boy." Candles burned brighter, shadows danced upon the stained glass windows depicting glorious stories of old, and the church felt like a living, breathing entity, as divine presence enveloped them all. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Each day grew heavier, and hope began to wane as they approached the 40th night. Time twisted mercilessly, charging toward an uncertain end. When an elder, his voice trembling with divine authority, spoke during a passionate prayer meeting, "Cease all human efforts and surrender entirely to God's will," it sent shivers through Mary's spine. A storm brewed within her, torn between instinctual fight and the sacred call to surrender. On that fateful night, as candlelight flickered like the heartbeat of faith, Mary whispered desperate pleas, her soul weeping under the daunting weight of her son's suffering. Just as despair threatened to swallow her whole, a sensation swept through the air. The atmosphere crackled with a holy electricity. The candles flickered violently, shadows leaping to a rhythm of their own, and the congregation, wide-eyed with reverent fear, held their breath in unison. As Mary opened her heart, releasing her burden to the divine, a presence enveloped the air. The atmosphere shifted, charged with both hope and uncertainty. The villagers stood at the threshold of what felt extraordinary, clinging to the edge of faith and doubt, as they anticipated what would unfold. Would the essence of divine love manifest in a moment they would never forget, or would she find herself on the other side of faith forged in her trials? The night awaited, where hope and desperation danced on the edge of a prayer. The air thickened, electrifying the room with an unspoken promise. As Mary knelt, her heart raced. In the flickering light, shadows morphed into shapes of prayers long held. The murmurs of the congregation melded into a timeless hymn, vibrating with yearning. Could this night truly hold the miracle they all sought? "Let go, surrender," the elder's words echoed inside her mind, as if the heavens were lifting their veil before her. Mary felt torn. The weight of her son's suffering had shackled her heart tightly. But deeper within her, a soft whisper urged her to trust, to embrace the divine plan even if it remained hidden. Tears streamed down her cheeks, mingling with the candle's golden light. This space, filled with love and unyielding hope, surged like a tide, drawing her thoughts upward. Thoughts spiraled around the sanctuary of devout believers, each face illuminated by faith, each flickering candle a testament to their commitment. Suddenly, the air quaked and thickened, as if an unseen force gathered to create a divine crescendo. Time itself seemed to pause, holding its breath alongside Mary. An inexplicable peace washed over her, as if the universe wrapped her in its embrace. It felt warm and familiar, a reminder that she was never alone in this tempest of uncertainty. Then, in a moment that shattered her old realities, the very atmosphere split open with light. It was not blinding but rather radiant, casting a glow that enveloped the congregation in a holy warmth. Gasps unfolded in a wave as villagers instinctively shielded their eyes from the brilliance. But Mary? She dared to look up. In that miraculous glow, she could see more than just light. She sensed presence. It felt alive and beckoning, wrapping itself around her like a protective mantle. Her heart, once a heavy stone, softened. With each inhale, she felt an inexplicable lift, as if the burdens she had carried for so long were being gently drawn away. "Thomas!" She cried out, her voice a blend of desperation and hope. She could almost feel the stretch of the divine connecting her heart to his, a bridge built not of this world, but born in a realm far beyond. "Please, let him feel your presence." Her words trembled into the sacred air, full of longing. The candles flickered insistently, bending toward her like flowers reaching for sunlight. The villagers stirred, sensing the palpable shift, the promise of something monumental unfolding before them. "What comes next?" whispered an elder, awe igniting his eyes. He, too, felt the pull of hope, a motion toward divine embrace. Mary's faith began to shift into something deeper. It was as if a new strength blossomed within her. She was no longer just a mother pleading for her son's life, she became a vessel of love and trust, a conduit for divine will. "Whatever happens, I am yours," she breathed, finally releasing her fight. The response resonated through the crowd like a melodic chord, a deep agreement manifested in every heart. The flames flickered higher as if echoing her surrender. The moment stretched, thick with anticipation. Would this be the night when heaven brushed against earth, when the impossible became possible, and when the whisper of divine love transformed their lives forever? As hope shimmered through the darkness, a single candle, placed at Mary's feet, burst forth in brilliant light, as if destiny had been waiting for this very moment to ignite. The congregation leaned in, each breath sharp with expectation. What awaited them? Would Thomas feel the miracle of love they all yearned for, or would they stand witness to a greater mystery that demanded their faith? The night unfolded, and divine intervention loomed just beyond reach. A hush fell over the gathered hearts, a profound silence where the rhythmic beating of hope echoed louder than any voice. Mary, consumed in the glow, felt the air shift as whispers of angels brushed past her ears. Each breath seemed to draw in the very essence of heaven, illuminating everything, every face, every tear, every flickering candle. "Hold on to your faith," an elderly woman murmured, clutching her rosary tightly, her eyes reflecting the firelight. Others nodded, creating a tapestry of unwavering belief woven through their shared experience. It was as if the room swelled with a vibrant energy, a collective pulse urging them onward, deeper into the unknown. As the light intensified, Mary reached deeper into her spirit, feeling threads of connection to every soul present. Their past struggles, their sacrifices, their dreams, it all merged into a symphony of faith that resonated through the sanctuary. She could feel the prayers of those who had come before her, woven through time, surrounding her like a protective net. Now, she was not alone, they were all in this together, walking toward the dawn of something unimaginable. "Thomas," she breathed again, the name now a sacred incantation. In her heart, an image of her son bloomed, illuminating the darkness of despair that had so long clouded it. She envisioned him smiling, healthy, filled with the vigor of life. This vivid picture ignited a fresh wave of faith within her. How could she dare to dream such a reality if it wasn't meant to be? Suddenly, a soft wind swept through the room, carrying with it the fragrance of blooming flowers and a sense of expectancy. People exchanged glances, the atmosphere shifting, becoming electric. It was as if the very fabric of reality was bending, leaning closer toward hope with each passing moment. I feel it, a voice broke the silence, bold and clear. It was the elder again, his hands raised heavenward. The Spirit is moving among us. The congregation shifted, aligning themselves with his words, all eyes now fixed on the radiance enveloping Mary. She felt the surge of their collective faith, and it surged through her like a tidal wave, lifting her up. Heartbeats quickened, breaths quickened, the urgency palpable. A sense of anticipation flooded the room, thick as honey yet light as a whisper. Mary closed her eyes, centering herself, feeling that sacred invitation of surrender once more. Take my son, she prayed, voice steady now, barely a whisper, but filled with power. Take him into your light and let him feel this love, this miracle. Her voice held the weight of generations, piercing the veil between heaven and earth. The light pulsed, responding, deepening with every yearning word. In that sacred moment, the single candle by her feet flickered and danced, casting playful shadows that twisted into the forms of angels. A deep murmur rippled through the congregation, a sound as timeless as prayer itself. They began to chant softly, calling out in unison, Lord, we believe. Lord, we believe. Each belief that resonated echoed in their hearts, sealing their unity. In that vast ocean of faith, Mary felt herself buoyed higher. What if this was the night, this very moment, she pondered, when the chains of despair would shatter? As her spiritual grasp tightened, Mary's breathing deepened and a profound calm blanketed her heart. Just then, the candlelight flared brilliantly, morphing the simple wick into a symbol of resurrection, illuminating the shadows that had long loomed over her family. Was this divine light a sign? Would her yearning turn into reality? She held her breath, not daring to break the moment, wondering, what awaited them beyond the radiant threshold? Could the miracle they sought truly be upon them? As Mary glanced around the room, anticipation glimmered in the eyes of her neighbors. The air thickened once more, pregnant with something extraordinary. What awaited them now? Would they witness a healing of the heart, or was this just the beginning of transformation that reached far beyond what they ever dared to believe? The journey into the divine mystery continued. A stillness embraced the room, yet excitement crackled in the air like the first breath of dawn. Mary opened her eyes, seeing the faces illuminated by the flickering flame of faith surrounding her. Each countenance held a promise, each gaze a spark of the same divine fire igniting their hearts. Can you feel it? A young woman beside her whispered, her voice trembling with emotion. Mary nodded, overwhelmed by the unity binding them together, a collective yearning reaching toward the heavens. This was no ordinary moment, this was a convergence of souls, a divine appointment set before time began. The elder, still raised in worship, responded, It is the presence of the Almighty. We are not just witnesses, we are participants in His glorious work. His voice resonated with a deep conviction that stirred something within Mary. A ripple of belief coursed through the gathered flock, filling them with an unshakable certainty that they were on the brink of something miraculous. With her heart open, Mary inhaled deeply, allowing the sweetness of faith to settle within her. She felt the light thrum with the potent energy of 1,000 prayers harmonizing. It was as if every plea ever uttered was swirling in a grand orchestration of hope, wrapped in grace and poised for release. Thomas, Mary murmured again, her voice interwoven with the collective longing. In that name lay the essence of her being, the very thread of her faith. The room seemed to collectively lean in closer to her whisper, absorbing every beat of her mother's heart. Then, as if in response to her plea, the flickering candle flared once more, expanding in brightness until it became a beacon. The warmth from the flame washed over her like a wave, enveloping her in an embrace of love that reassured her spirit. I believe. She felt herself declaring, the words cascading from her lips with newfound vigor. A chorus swelled, echoing her assertion. We believe. We believe. Each voice melded together, a powerful hymn that resonated in the very bones of the sanctuary. Suddenly, as the chant reverberated, shadows danced wildly along the walls, twisting into shapes that mirrored the hopes of those who gathered. Mary's heart raced at the sight, her spirit soaring, knowing things once impossible may now unfold before them. "Look!" a man cried out, eyes wide in wonder. "The light, it's changing." All heads turned, awe filling the air as the golden glow shifted and transformed. A figure emerged within the light, shimmering yet solid, a divine presence stepping into their midst. Tears flowed freely as the crowd gasped, falling into an awestruck silence. The figure, radiant and filled with peace, extended a hand, inviting them closer. Mary felt a pull within her, a surge of love, urging her to step forward. Around her, others hesitated, tension palpable. "Will we approach? Will we trust?" whispered a voice near her, uncertainty shadowing their enthusiasm. Yet deep down, Mary knew this was more than a test of faith. It was an invitation into a deeper relationship with the divine and awakening. With each heart pounding, every breath quickening, they stood on the threshold together, ready to cross into the unknown. What awaited them? Would the manifestation they yearned for come to pass in this sacred space? As the figure beckoned, Mary took a deep breath. Her heart danced with anticipation, filled with an echo of countless prayers whispered in the dark of night. But would they take that step of faith together, crossing from waiting into destiny? The divine mystery was calling. The figure glimmered, a vision that seemed to stretch time itself. Mary could feel the expectation pulsating through the crowd, a heartbeat of divine possibility resonating in the air. The stillness was pregnant with promise, every soul poised to leap into faith's embrace. "Let us not falter now," the elder's voice broke into the silence, firm yet gentle. "We have come too far, beloveds. Trust that the Master's hand is upon us." But the shadows of doubt hung close, wisps that coiled like smoke, whispering insecurities to those filled with awe. Mary's heart was a symphony of emotions, fear mingled with exhilaration. "What if it's not meant for us?" someone murmured, their voice taut. She turned to see faces reflecting uncertainty, eyes darting back to the ethereal figure, searching for reassurance. "Look!" she called out, her voice rising above the hushed fears. "This is love eternal. We must step forward." As if fueled by her declaration, the transformative light surrounding the figure brightened further, casting away doubts like mist at dawn. The warm glow felt like an embrace, tender yet firm, a reminder that they were not alone on this journey. "Mary is right," the young woman from beside her echoed, stepping slightly forward, emboldened. "What if we miss out on something ancient and holy? What if today is our deliverance?" Her words hung palpably in the air, invoking the courage lying dormant within each heart. One by one, hands reached out slowly, fingers trembling as they inched toward the light. It almost pulsed back, drawing them closer, an undeniable connection. Mary's spirit soared higher, sensing the divine energy intertwining them. Suddenly, a loud crack resonated throughout the room. Startled gasps escaped as beams of luminescence broke through the flickering candlelight, illuminating the sanctuary. Shapes began to spiral from the light, forming intricate patterns that danced on the walls, portraying stories of old. These were tales of redemption, sacrifice, and unwavering faith. Faces of prophets long past winked in and out of existence, each offering a nugget of strength, their lips moving in silent encouragement. Mary closed her eyes, drinking it in. Her heart felt lighter, each beat aligning with the drum of miracles not yet seen. What stories are we meant to write today? She pondered, feeling the overwhelming sanctity surrounding her. She understood, in that moment, that their experiences would ripple outwards, impacting not just their lives but touching future generations. With renewed fervor, she pointed toward the figure, casting away the last bit of hesitation. "Do we not desire a new chapter in our lives?" "Yes," came a chorus of responses. "Let us. We want to embrace." Slowly, they began to move. Mary took a bold step forward, arms wide, her heart bursting with hope. The collective courage moved like a wave, surging toward the invitation beckoning them forth. As they approached, the figure smiled, an expression of pure compassion that seemed to embody every ounce of love known to mankind. In that moment, all fear dissolved in the unyielding light. Mary felt empowered, the gripping uncertainty replaced by a golden warmth wrapping around her heart's core. But just as they were about to cross the threshold, a voice pierced through the haze. It was distant, echoing like a haunting refrain, "Will you trust enough to surrender?" In an instant, a stillness fell again. The question hung heavy, awaiting their response. Would they let go of their earthly worries and trust in the divine? The essence of sacrifice loomed before them. What lay beyond that luminous boundary? A waiting promise, or a challenge that would test their very souls? The mystery was deepening. With hearts pounding, the congregation stood poised at the threshold of the light, the air thick with a mixture of faith and trepidation. Each face reflected the warm glow surrounding the figure, each pair of eyes shimmering with the question that lingered in the air. "Will you trust enough to surrender?" It resonated through their spirits like a gentle breeze ruffling the leaves of a prayerful tree. Mary, feeling the weight of the moment, turned inward. Could she truly let go of the fears that clung to her heart? The worries about tomorrow, the burdens of yesterday, all seemed impossibly heavy. Yet, at that moment, the light beckoned her with a promise of release. One by one, those nearby began to nod, their resolve strengthening. "I will let go." A man's voice cried out, brave amidst the silent sea of doubt. "I'll trust," echoed a woman, her eyes bright with newly found hope. Their declaration swept through the gathering like a wave crashing upon the shore, stirring courage within the hearts of the hesitant. "Together. We'll take this step together," Mary urged, her voice now a beacon. With every word, the energy in the room transformed into something palpable, almost electric. Their faith was weaving a tapestry of belief strong enough to break through the veil of uncertainty. And then it happened. As if the universe had been waiting for this collective moment, the light surged forward, spilling across the room. A warmth enveloped Mary and those around her, every soul wrapped in a cocoon of divine love. She felt the call to surrender resonate deep within her spirit, as if it were an ancient whisper from a time long past, inviting her to release the ties binding her heart. With arms outstretched toward the luminous figure, she felt the barriers of her fear crumble, brick by brick. "I surrender," she proclaimed, the words soaring into the ether like an arrow shot toward the stars. At that very instant, the ground below shifted. It felt as if the earth itself was responding. Shadows flickered, transforming into vibrant hues that danced upon the walls, celebrating their declaration. The history of their faith flooded into Mary's mind, a river of stories filled with battles fought and won through surrendering oneself to God's unfolding plan. What new stories await us? She wondered, her heart swelling with the thrill of uncertainty, a vibrant, divine uncertainty. Others began to echo her intent, their voices like a chorus rising to the heavens. "We trust. We surrender." The sanctuary vibrated with urgency as the light pulsated in tandem with their declarations. Suddenly, the figure stepped closer, the warmth intensifying, wrapping around the congregation as if pulling them into an embrace. "You are beloved," soft yet powerful, the voice echoed through the space, igniting a beacon of hope. "Your surrender opens the doors to miracles, your faith marks the path forward. Will you step into the unknown with me?" Tears streamed down Mary's cheeks as she felt the weight of the divine presence upon her. Each tear became a symbol of her release, her fears washing away in the flood of light. "Yes," she shouted, her voice rising above the swell, a beacon of truth amidst the tumult. But a stillness fell once again, like the hush before a storm. Would they dare to take one step further into this brightness, knowing that answers were buried in questions yet to unfold? Every heart was a drum, thrumming with anticipation, awaiting the next move of faith. A new challenge loomed, greater than any before. Would they embrace the unknown beyond the luminous threshold? What miraculous transformations awaited them on the other side? The mystery grew deeper, laced with the intoxication of hope. Each step felt like an invitation into a new reality, and yet, one question lingered. Was their surrender truly enough to unleash the divine manifestation that awaited them? The air buzzed with possibility, as their journey was about to ignite. As the warmth enveloped them, a profound stillness settled in the air. Mary felt her heart beating like a drum, echoing her resolve. Each person stood at the edge of an immeasurable journey, their shared breaths mingling in the sacred space, a testament to patience and faith. "What awaits us now?" whispered a voice from the crowd. It belonged to an elder, whose face, weathered yet radiant, spoke of countless prayers answered over a lifetime. His wide eyes held stories that swirled with uncertainty and the yearning for deeper connection. Mary turned toward him, sensing not just a shared moment but a collective heartbeat, a longing for the divine. "Everything," she breathed, her spirit ignited with hope. "It's all possible now. Together, we are one step closer to God's plan." With every shared heartbeat, a hum of energy thrummed through the sanctuary, stirring feelings long buried beneath layers of everyday life. The mesmerizing light drew them toward the figure, illuminating not just the path ahead, but the uncharted territory within their own hearts. "Let us remember," Mary began, her voice steady. "For 40 days, we will walk in faith, surrendering our doubts and fears. We will open the doors of our hearts and welcome His miracles." Her commitment echoed in the room, solidifying their resolve, each word carved their destiny in stone. Suddenly, the light brightened fiercely, as though the heavens were leaning closer. "Trusting in surrender does not mean we abandon our hope," the figure proclaimed. "It means we allow hope to light the way." The faith of the congregation swelled like a tide rising against the shore, each believer gaining strength from one another. A murmur rippled through the crowd. The weight of their pasts was heavy, but the potential for renewal hung tantalizingly in the air. They shared a collective understanding of the struggles they had faced: pain, doubt, fear, but the promise of tomorrow lifted them higher. "Shall we not carry our burdens into this new beginning?" someone called out, their voice trembling with emotion. "Yes," Mary affirmed, her heart soaring. "Let us release all that holds us back. There's freedom in letting go." With this, hands began to raise, palms open, as if offering their doubts to the light. One by one, people surrendered in their own ways. Some cried, others sang, all basked in the warmth. A beautiful blend of surrender and connection filled the space, transforming despair into liberation. As the chorus of voices built, the figure moved with fluid grace, its light expanding outward, inviting the congregation to step closer. Mary could feel her own spirit transforming alongside her fellow believers. "The first breath of our new journey begins with intention," the radiant figure declared. In that moment, a brilliant flash enveloped the room, like the first light of dawn piercing through the dark. The congregation gasped, their hearts racing, filled with the thrill of the unknown. "Embrace this time together," the figure continued, "for it is in community, in this shared faith, that miracles are birthed. Countless breakthroughs lie ahead, but you must remain steadfast. The challenge will be great, but the rewards, they shall be magnificent." In the depths of her spirit, Mary felt a surge of excitement mixed with trepidation. How would they sustain the sacred energy? Would they stand firm against the storms of life that would arise? As the luminous figure began to fade, a serene calm replaced the surrounding excitement. Each believer was left staring into the shimmering void, eyes wide, hearts full, embracing the profound questions of what was yet to come. What transformations lay in wait within those 40 days? And how were they to overcome the inevitable trials ahead? The night crept on, yet the air remained charged with expectation, filling their hearts with the glorious anticipation of divine revelation. The morning light filtered through the old stained glass windows, casting vibrant colors upon the still bodies of the congregation. Each hue danced upon their faces, painting them with a sense of renewal and promise. As the day broke, Mary could feel an electric energy pulsing in the atmosphere. It was the dawning of the first day, and in her heart, a quiet determination stirred. What now? The question lingered in her mind, an echo of hopes yet unspoken. As she glanced around the gathering, she saw the elder from the night before, his expression calm and knowing. His eyes sparkled with wisdom, inviting her closer. She approached him, the warmth from their shared journey fueling her spirit. "Are we ready?" Mary asked, breaking the silence that hung between them. "Ready or not, we are already on our way," he replied gently, a smile gracing his lips. "The path is lit, our steps are guided. All that remains is our willingness to walk." With those words, Mary felt a wave of resolve wash over her. They were embarking on something monumental, a shifting of hearts and minds. Gathering the group, she raised her voice, "Let us celebrate our first day. Together, we can embrace the journey unfolding before us." As the believers shared stories of their burdens, they affirmed their commitments, their doubts transforming into shared declarations. They voiced their hopes aloud, each word floating like an offering to the divine. From deepest longings to whispers of faith, they united under one purpose, seeking transformation and release. Someone began to sing softly, a tune born of sorrow and joy, and soon, the others joined in, their voices weaving together into a tapestry of hope. The song rose, filling the sacred space with a sweet melody that echoed off the walls, lost in timeless longing. Mary closed her eyes, allowing the music to wash over her, the vibrations grounding her soul. As the chorus swelled, something shifted. It felt as if their collective faith anchored them in a divine embrace, lifting burdens ever so slightly and inviting hope into the cracks of their lives. The atmosphere transcended mere sound, it became a palpable force. "Every chord, every word, is a prayer," the elder exclaimed, his voice quavering with emotion. "Lift your hearts even higher. Release your fears as we sing the prayers of our ancestors' centuries of longing for connection." In that moment, Mary opened her heart wide, allowing the light that enveloped them to seep into her very being. Her soul tingled with possibility as she immersed herself in the unity shared with those around her. Together, they were a vessel for change, an altar for miracles. Just then, the radiant figure from the night before glowed at the edge of her vision, shimmering with vibrant energy. Though faint, it felt near. Mary's heart raced as she beckoned the congregation, "Look! It's here." While many turned to see the figure, some remained wrapped in prayer, reverent to the presence of the moment. A sense of awe settled gently, a reminder that they were on sacred ground, each prepared for the revelations ahead. "This is just the beginning," the figure's voice resonated, gentle yet powerful. "Embrace the days ahead. Open your hearts in prayer and action. Seek the strength to endure, and miracles will follow." Tears welled in Mary's eyes as her spirit danced amid such profound hope. What awaited them on this journey? How deeply would their lives transform in the days to come? And then the figure faded, leaving them lingering in the ripples of its voice. It was not just the questions that arose, but the courage to face every uncertainty that lay ahead. As their hearts beat in unison, Mary sensed that the real journey was just unfurling. The first day was a request for deeper faith. What challenge would test their commitment next? As the echoes of the fading figure lingered in the air, an unexpected silence enveloped the congregation. Mary opened her eyes, still tingling from that divine presence, searching the faces around her. Some looked lost in thought, while others wore expressions of wonder, their hearts stirring with the promise of change. "Let us take a moment," the elder said softly, a hint of reverence coloring his voice. "Let us listen to what is being whispered to our spirits." A hush fell over them, as still as the morning light that crept through the stained glass. In that sacred stillness, Mary felt a gentle nudge within her soul, a reminder that the journey ahead would require more than just song and prayer. She took a breath, feeling a mixture of excitement and trepidation. "We must seek the strength to endure," she echoed the figure's words. But what does that truly mean for each of us? Gradually, the heavy silence began to shift. One by one, individuals began to share. A young man spoke of his struggle with fear, how it often clouded his decisions. A mother shared her worries for her children, the weight of uncertainty bearing down on her heart. Mary listened, feeling each story weave into an intricate tapestry of longing and hope. It was in these shared vulnerabilities that their collective strength began to emerge. The air thickened with a knowing, they were not alone on this journey. The elder nodded with understanding. Each burden shared is a step toward release. Let us open our hearts to one another. Lay your fears here, at this altar of fellowship. With the encouragement, the congregation shifted toward the center of their gathering space, forming a circle of trust. It felt as though they were drawn together by an invisible thread, binding their spirits in light and love. As they shared their hearts, the collective energy grew. Each story was a spark igniting the others. Laughter pierced through the heaviness at times, while tears flowed freely at others. Mary felt her own fears dissolve in the warmth of honesty and compassion. Let us now pray for one another, the elder instructed, his voice steady. We must ask for guidance as we embark on this wild journey of faith. They bowed their heads, voices intertwining in a plea for strength, healing, and courage. It was a sacred moment, where each heart beat as one, echoing with a rhythm of hope. With eyes closed, Mary felt the divine stir within them, a promise that emerged from their vulnerability and unity. Then suddenly, a low hum reverberated through the space. It startled Mary from her reverie as she opened her eyes. The walls appeared to shimmer, dancing with light. Gasps broke out among the congregation, and Mary's heart raced. Was this the divine manifestation they were promised? Stand firm in faith. The elder cried, raising his hands. All things are possible when we believe. With every voice lifted in praise, the hum transformed into a glorious chorus, reverberating with a strength that drove back shadows and doubt. The walls seemed to respond, vibrating with life as if they were alive, catching every note of their devotion. As they sang, a vision emerged in Mary's mind, a vision of their journey intertwined, not just as individuals but as a community. The challenges they would face together, the transformation that awaited them, all bound within an elegy of faith. What lies ahead? She pondered with newfound determination. How will we cross the thresholds before us? The moment pulsed with energy. Hope ignited as they pressed on in song, reached higher in praise. In that sacred atmosphere, Mary found herself craving more, a deeper intimacy with the divine, a bolder faith that could withstand any storm. Tomorrow will bring new challenges, she thought, but will we be ready? Are we willing to embrace every possibility? The vibrant chorus echoed the question in her heart, and in that echo, her curiosity swelled. What miraculous transformations awaited them in the days to come? How would their unyielding faith shape the path that lay ahead? As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the village, the congregation gathered once more at the church, hearts infused with the fervor of their shared faith. The word had been spoken, and Mary, along with her neighbors, felt a subtle yet profound change within. They stood on the precipice of transformation, their spirits lively, bolstered by the faith that had surged to life in the days since they had come together. Mary took her place at the altar, colored by a sense of anticipation. There was an unshakable unity now, the sound of voices dripping with hope echoed from soul to soul. Tonight is different, she thought. Tonight, we witness the miraculous. With candles strewn brightly before them, they began to pray, casting their burdens into the light. The elder spoke softly, guiding them into the divine embrace they had come to deeply trust. Let each prayer rise like incense to the heavens. It is a call for our miracles, a request for healing, love, and the light that drives away darkness. As the air thickened with prayers, a soft wind swept through the chapel. The fragrance of blooming flowers enveloped them, transporting each heart closer to the focus of their longings. For Mary, it was Thomas. She envisioned him, his eyes twinkling with life, full of laughter, eager to embrace tomorrow. Suddenly, in the midst of reverence, a brilliant light illuminated the altar, glittering like starlight. Gasps of awe resonated through the room as they turned, drawn toward the source of this celestial radiance. Shadows fell away, replaced by the shimmering outlines of angels, a heavenly choir inviting their spirits to soar. "Come, beloveds," a familiar voice poured through the sacred space, resonating with strength and grace. It was the presence they had felt before, it had never truly left them. Day by day, every prayer held weight, igniting a wave of divine response. Your faith has ushered you to this moment, this divine rendezvous. Trust in the illumination of my love. Mary pressed her palms together, tears of joy slipping down her cheeks. This is it, she whispered, her heart swelling with collective faith. The congregation, emboldened by the spark of unity, moved closer toward the light, a unified front, ready to embrace whatever came next. God sees you, the radiant figure proclaimed, the light intensifying, surrounding them with warmth. Your sacrifices have not gone unnoticed. In moments of doubt, you opened your hearts to one another. In moments of weakness, you held strong in prayer. This love transcends your struggles, it triumphs in faith. All at once, the light surged through them, filling each soul with strength and purpose. Clarity washed over Mary. She turned her thoughts to her son, a chronic illness lingering, but she felt it slip away, shadowed by the bright embrace of an unwavering God. Your hearts are called to action, the voice continued, echoing through the sanctuary. What will you take with you from this divine intersection? Will you share your light with the world beyond these walls, illuminating the lives around you? In that moment, visions flooded Mary's mind. Thomas smiling, his ailments healed. But alongside it came the awareness of a greater mission. A voice deep within urged her, you are not only a witness, you are a bearer of hope to all those suffering. Confident voices stirred Mary, echoing the needs of others. Let this miracle unfold beyond our fears. One neighbor shouted, their faces alight with determination. Another joined, we are not just recipients of love. We are channels of it. A chorus of amen echoed through the church, each heartbeat resonating with renewed strength. In surrendering their personal burdens, they had united as a community, a living testament of love that expanded outward beyond their sanctuary's walls. Mary glanced around, seeing commitment in her neighbor's eyes, hope igniting a fierce conviction in every heart present. She felt the sacred call to move, to bring this divine love to those outside their circle of faith. Yes. We will share our testimony. She proclaimed. This light will not be contained. We will heal our village, we will offer hope where despair once lived. With every intention spoken, the air grew thick with that shared passion, a fervor echoing through every corner of the church as their voices intertwined. Stepping into compliance, the congregation embraced the call to serve, determined to elevate others' spirits and reflect the love they had received. The radiant figure, smiling gently, nodded in assent. See how you shine. This is your hour. Step boldly into the world. Let the miracles multiply. Not just for you but for and through every soul you meet. As the divine light began to fade, an ember remained, embodied within each heart. It pulsed like a heartbeat, a promise of what was yet to be realized. Together, they stepped from the sanctuary into the enveloping night, a unified force, arms linked and spirits offered to a world quiet in its pain. A town long gripped by shadows would know the light that dwelled within each of them. They sang as they traveled, their song rising with confidence into the starry sky, a gentle invitation to those listening to awaken to their own miracles. Mary felt a warmth radiate from her soul, a reverberation of faith that would not be stifled. Together, she whispered, looking around at her fellow believers, we embrace the unknown. Now was the time to step boldly, to embrace their calling, and let light fall upon places darkened, together stepping into the divine promise alive within. The journey of faith had only just begun. You need to subscribe now to this channel so you don't miss the next exclusive faith stories. Leave a like now. Your support feeds the algorithm and helps spread these messages that can spark change in hearts everywhere. Comment below your reactions and testimonies about this ending, let us gather them as seeds to blossom into faith. And share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation and know that hope is alive. Don't wait even one more second to share. Only true servants of God understand the importance of spreading the divine love.